Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at a piece actually generated by OpenAI's DALL-E II. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about this portraiture here. We're going to talk about the influence of Dogecoin, and then we're also going to talk about the incredible influence or profound power of DALL-E II. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this piece, you're met with the classical portraiture format here. And the portraiture, of course, creates a very intimate visual experience. You're really face-to-face with the bust of the main subject here. Portraitures, especially classic formats of the portraiture, normally depict the subject with what they want to be remembered by. So even though this was created by an artificial intelligence, we see how the depiction of a spacesuit here definitely gives it a status of an astronaut or anything related to that. And so we are looking at our subject, which is the Shiba Inu. And the Shiba Inu is kind of a small to medium-sized breed of dog, actually coming from the Japanese archipelago, a hunting dog as well. And Shiba Inu, of course, most famously is associated with internet culture, primarily with the cryptocurrency Dogecoin. And so Doge, it was very, very popular. Just quick disclaimer, not promoting Doge in any way. We're actually going to talk about a little bit about the irresponsibility of that as well. But Dogecoin has become a very, very popular part of internet culture there. And so with that, one of the most popular phrases which has emerged, of course, in pop culture is the quote unquote "to the moon." And "to the moon" is normally chanted in a way of promising profits, hopefully, in a positive way. And "to the moon" is also used in kind of, at times, kind of a bid and a bit of false hope, or kind of an irresponsible optimism there. And so, some people use Dogecoin as a quote unquote investment, and I use that word very lightly because it's hard to say what you're actually buying with Dogecoin other than the simple internet currency. A lot of utility is not attached to it quite yet, so it is a very, very risky quote unquote investment. And so, of course, "to the moon" has become a very, very popular phrase, hoping for stocks or crypto or anything to just keep on rising. Of course, that's not very realistic as things cannot just continually rise. But we did see with Dogecoin, it went all the way up to almost 75 cents when it was around S&L. So that was quite remarkable. Of course, if you did get in early, you did see quite an interesting and quite a profound return from that. Although I do think that's over. But regardless of that, of course, you see our subject is wearing that astronaut suit here, and that is in a bid to that "to the moon" or that rocket emoji that we normally see associated with Dogecoin. And so what also came from that was actually an entire, what was born from that is an entire new movement of financial literacy amongst the youth. Of course, many people would argue that it is a irresponsible level of financial literacy, and in many ways I would agree with that, but it is financial literacy nonetheless. People are trying to become, younger investors. People are trying to put that in as their bio status. There is something to the young investor nowadays, or the young entrepreneur, that is apparently very appealing. And so with that in mind, what we also saw shortly after was the rise of things like NFTs. And NFTs are significant because they allow people to verify individualized pieces on the internet. And so that could be really good, whether it is a database for VR items or a database gaming, or whether it's, verifying a piece of digital art to be traded, collected, sold across the world, in any different ways. So that's also a pretty profound thing that has come from that. Definitely has empowered countless digital artists, both big and small, across the globe. And so we also see here, this piece was actually generated. I don't have the prompt here, but it was actually requested of a Shiba Inu oil painting from the 16th century. So with that in mind, we do see this kind of Renaissance style from the 1500s. This was normally displayed with kind of an objective realism. So we do see that within the work at hand. Very, very realistic, very painstakingly oil painted, hand painted, of course, created by an artificial intelligence here. And this is really significant because, of course, with the dawn of AI generative art, we're really seeing a whole new age of creative expression, of course, assisted by computers much more directly with things like artificial intelligence. And so what's quite remarkable about that is this was created with DALL-E II, which is one of the most popular and definitely one of the most accurate AI generative art programs out there. So with that in mind, we see how it can replicate the idea of a Shiba Inu or a Doge. It can also replicate the idea of an astronaut, and then it can also replicate the medium of oil painting, and then also replicate the style of the 1500s. So just 4 data sets there. Of course, there are probably many more under the surface, but just those 4 main data sets, it's astonishing how it can just hybridize all of that, can merge it into one, and then display that into the generated piece before us here. So with that in mind, of course, it was created by AI. A human did not create this. The only thing the human did was kind of put in a text prompt to create the piece before us here. So it's very, very remarkable just how accurate it is. And of course, the incredible history of Dogecoin and its influence on young investors, just getting people aware to the idea of investing in general, whether they're doing it responsible or not. I am very, very glad that there are a ton of youth that are now looking at investing, whether they're responsible or not, that normally comes a little bit later down the road. So very, very historic piece, very, very cool AI generative piece. So this was actually the last one we needed to showcase and release our DALL-E II gallery. So I'm incredibly excited for that, and that'll actually be released right after this. And so hope you guys enjoyed. We talked a little bit about Dogecoin. We talked about the incredible power of DALL-E II. We talked about the Shiba Inu, 1500s Renaissance paintings, everything in between. And it is quite remarkable as the people who originally, quote unquote, invested in Dogecoin came with returns of over 1,000%. So quite astonishing. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.